So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the different tabs that we have here in Maya. More specifically, we'll be looking at these three, which is the attribute editor, the tools menu, and the channel box. So look at channel box first. Now the channel box basically gives you the basic information about your cube. So it'll give you the name, which you can change, and I do recommend you to change the name because it does make your scene more efficient, be able to find certain things very quickly. And when you have the cube selected, you have the translate, which is where the model is in a 3D space. Rotate, obviously, as it says, you can rotate it with specific values. And scale, which is how big or small you make your object. So with translate, you can put in positive numbers such as just a +6, and it will move to that corresponding value. So put translate 6 to the Y. Y is basically up and down, so it will move it in that direction. And with scale, we can change how big it is. So we're making it a bit longer there. I'll make it a bit taller maybe. And we can rotate it as well. So we can put in, say, 90 degrees to change it. I do recommend using the channel box for rotate, because a lot of times if you're trying to move something, say, exactly 90 degrees, even though I've kind of got it there. Let me put these up back to 0. So if I was moving this 90 degrees, even though I'm almost kind of there, I'm still a bit off. So a lot of the times it is better just to use the channel box to move stuff around. We also have the attribute editor, which, let me just delete this cube for a second and make a new one. And the attribute editor, you can turn on and off different aspects of your cube. So for example, here we can turn off that it will receive or cast any sort of shadows, turn off the visibility if we wanted to. But the main thing you want to look at is, if you go to Polycube 1, we can add subdivisions, which basically means you'll add more vertexes, edges and faces, etc., which you will need if you want to morph your cube into different shapes or weapons, etc. So you can start off with a cube which has more subdivisions rather than going into the mesh tools and doing it that way. You can just automatically put stuff in there straight away from the get-go. And the last one we'll look at is the tools menu or settings. And here you can get some more attributes for different components such as the move, scale, rotate, and even the selection. So for example, with the selection we have the marquee, which is sort of like the default selection tab, but you can change that to, say, a drag. And with the drag, if you hold on the left mouse button, you can select multiple stuff way more faster than you could with, say, with the marquee. Because with the marquee you can only select one at a time unless you hold shift. But again, it is quite slow. You can see I'm having to click like for like 12 times just to get all this selected. Whereas with drag, if I hold on the left mouse button, it's a lot faster and a lot more efficient. I would say don't just rely on just the matinee and just the drag. You will find that you'll have to kind of mix and match it sometimes. So I will say play around with it a little bit. With the move, for example, and same with the rotate and scale. You can turn on symmetry. So if we just select, say, this middle cube here, and we do symmetry from the world Z. Don't know if you'll be able to notice this or not. Nope, wrong one. Let's change it from object Z actually. You may notice it seems to be in the wrong one, but this is much better. So with symmetry on, you can make things pretty much mirror exactly the way you want them to. You might want to play around with that. Sometimes you'll find that you want to make things even on both sides, so symmetry is quite good to turn on if you want. You just click that little arrow there and turn it on and off. Another thing you may want to use as well is soft selection. So before I show that, if you'll notice, if I select one face or one edge, it doesn't kind of morph naturally. It's kind of awkward and cumbersome. There's no real fall off effect with it, so you can kind of see from the side here. With soft selection, it provides a fallout effect, so it will affect areas around it. So I might turn down a little bit because you can kind of see it's very high right now. So let's say that's probably a bit high. Put 0.5 here. So you can see the fallout effect. So if I move this now, you can see that it doesn't just affect that one face, but the areas around it. And this is really useful if you're doing more natural stuff. So for example, trees or rocks. Soft selection is the best thing to use because it does feel a lot more natural than compared to, say, this. You can kind of see that it doesn't really morph as well. But when you turn on the soft selection, it does kind of bring a much more gradual drop off.